folks. Welcome to Sports Focus. I am joined with McIntosh and Civils.
Hey, you got it corrected.
Yes, we're going to talk about some franchise football players. They got their contracts. We're going to talk about also some little fantasy showdown with two great teams and also another set of two great teams we're going to discuss as well. But first, let's get up in this mega thing that happened last week. Franchise Wednesday, they call it. Deadline came, and Dez got a contract. Justin Houston got a contract. He got a nice contract.
Yeah, he got the
four players, was it? Five got contracts, but JPP did not get his contract.
Nope, not his long-term deal.
Not because of that.
He did sign a franchise tag?
Justin Tuck said he gonna be just fine. He gonna be just fine with the
prosthesis.
Yeah, with the what? He gonna be just fine.
You know, he said it. I just said prosthesis.
Said what? What? 22, 36.
How many Super Bowls you got?
3. But anyway,
You're so wrong.
Even the New England Patriots kicker, he got his franchise thing signed. So
he got a long-term deal.
They all got long-term deal. The longest was Justin Houston for 6 years, and it was 100-something million.
Yeah, 100 million.
52 guaranteed.
Yeah, it's around in there. 101,
101. I ain't never heard of brother this past season. So once again, you drink the Kool-Aid.
Send that tape.
Yeah, that's what happened. You drink the Kool-Aid in these teams, and you see what happened. You think you start gold.
But you know, the biggest thing was he sat there and he opted out of the contract. He did what what's the quarterback name for Baltimore?
Flacco?
Yeah. Well, Flacco did. Now I wait. I'm going to bet on me that I do better and get that bigger contract. So he did that last year, and he was the star of the defense. So,
you know, you had Dez Bryant came out shining. But you know who's the big winner in this whole franchise tag signing?
Everybody who has a contract next year.
No. It's Demaryius Thomas. You know why? Because because Barack Obama let his mama out of the lockup.
Yes, he did.
And Barack let out 46 of the nonviolent drug offenders, and Demaryius Thomas' mother was one of them.
And she never got to see him play high school, college, or pro ball.
Wait a minute.
Live.
Talking about Demaryius Thomas and his mother finally getting out, but on the grandmother is still locked up.
Yeah, grandma must have did some surgery.
She must have been the OG triple GG.
You know, she was doing her business. Yeah, kingpin.
Yeah, but that must be nice.
That's not funny because there was a lady in Florida, 90-something-year-old, making millions of dollars.
Yeah,
was arrested.
Really?
Yeah, this happened a couple of years ago. Lady was between 80 and 90 years old, selling drugs out of her house like nobody's business.
But that's good for Demaryius. I mean, I think that's excellent for him. He got long-term money, got $27 million signing bonus, got some guaranteed money, and you know, hopefully, you know, moms don't have some ideas and do something with that money. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Mom be like, give me $1 million, let me flip it.
Baby, did they switch this and do that? We just joking, Demaryius. You know, you heard all them jokes before.
So wrong.
We just joking, Demaryius.
Yeah, we joking.
We joking.
We joking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mama gonna flip that money. Give me 100,000, baby. Watch
Moving on.
That's just so wrong.
That's Civils.
So wrong.
Moving on, our good friend Shaquille O'Neal started something on doctor now or a cop, sheriff?
No, he's a doctor. He has a doctorate.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, doctor degree.
That's what they said. That's what they said about Mr. Cosby. Now we starting to find out he off with the phony.
No.
But anyway,
he has a doctor. He just minored in pharmaceuticals.
His dissertation was a pilot from a show. He
minored in pharmaceuticals. That's what that was.
My good man Shaquille O'Neal started something on Twitter saying he thought that his all-time Laker teams could beat the all-time Bulls teams by 50 points. What you think would bother the Bulls players, Scottie Pippen and Jordan and those players? What bothered them the most by them saying that they could beat them or they'll get beat by 50?
They'll get beat by 50.
They get beat by 50.
I think that's the biggest part.
Do you think a team of Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Kareem, and Elgin Baylor You think they would beat them by 50 points?
You forgot. You got to look at the bench.
No, we just got the starting five. I mean, that's just and then
Who's going to stop Shaq and Kareem?
Okay, now,
Who's going to play the forward spot and who's going to play the
matter of
center?
fact, look at you still got the swingman coming. You still got Jerry West.
I know. And who's the other Bulls great players besides Jordan and Pippen? I mean, honestly, that we know. It has
You
to be
saw the
one
picture
of
and you saw Horace Grant on that picture. You know goodness well it
Horace
was
Grant, Jordan,
Paxson.
Scottie Pippen,
Hey, Steve
Rodman.
Kerr.
Rodman would cause some trouble.
Rodman will try to get into their head, but you got two big, meaty people. Well, I'm sorry, Kareem wasn't meaty; he was just tall. You got two guys that can bang you down low.
Yeah. Then knock
What
him
you gonna
off.
do? Because Horace Grant can't stop either one of them,
No.
and he can on and Rodman can only get into the head of one.
What, they got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose can do something.
And who's gonna stop Magic Johnson?
Well, I'm trying Chicago. I'm trying to be the devil's advocate to get this.
And let's just and to put a lid on it real fast. Go ahead and put Pippen on him. So that means you sending Rose to the block to go up against Elgin Baylor.
Well,
okay.
I guess. I guess our good friend Shaquille O'Neal was correct. Let's make it 60 because I really don't see. I see sky hooks like every single.
And
Let's see the sky hook again.
Yes. And let's not forget Magic with alley oops to Shaquille, who's going to be down in the block.
I think the only thing there won't be no showtime.
No, because you forgot
No
in their
showtime.
prime they could run the floor, especially Shaq. Shaq can run the break.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
In his prime.
So
Shaq
are we
ran the
talking
break.
about Kareem when he was with the Lakers in the 80s? We're not talking Lou Alcindor. We talking Kareem
in the 80s.
in the 80s.
Even Kareem in the 80s
Correct.
was unstoppable with the sky hook.
Tough call.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry, Michael.
No, the only tough call is how many points.
Michael Jordan.
tough call is how long do you lead a player? Do you want to stand for a few minutes? Come on.
Michael Jordan, you will go down in flames if that was there. Try to maybe you could the Celtics maybe,
No.
but how can you handle that front court of Bird, McHale, and Parrish? You come up a little short, Chicago. Peace out. All right. Now this got me thinking. We have talk about great teams now. This is a topic that I like because it deals with football, and you have the '70s Steelers versus the '90s Cowboys. Now you got the '70s; those guys wasn't as big as they are, in the '90s, whatever. But and I would hate to say, one team is better than the other because, of course, I believe if the '90s Cowboys played any of those teams right then, they would smack them up and they might beat them by 50. Who knows? But having said that, let's have a little fun. Let's say it like this: what team, when they played in their era, dominated their era, dominated the competition, dominated the NFL? You got the Steelers and their steel curtain, very famous, and the Cowboys and the triplets. Steelers, they had all them Hall of Famers. They drafted very well. There's 22 players on a starting team. How many is in the Hall of Fame? Got to be pushing 10. A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
One of my favorite players, Mel Blount. Michael Irvin, Mel Blount.
Yeah.
I think that cancels Michael Irvin out.
I don't know, because Michael liked to get physical.
Yeah, but this guy from Texas, he liked to get even more physical.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
So that would be a nice battle. And Michael Irvin was 6'2". Mel Blount was like 6'3".
Okay.
And was fast, probably maybe faster than Michael
Offensive
Irvin.
line, defensive line.
That's the biggest thing. That offensive line of the Cowboys, those were earth movers.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't sit up there and we talk about the steel curtain and that front four. They didn't have to go up against mashers.
But let's talk about that because we always say, the Cowboys and the Great Wall and da-da. Okay, Mean Joe Green, he's not a small man.
No, he's not.
Even when he played back then. And I think that's why those defenses, the fierce and foursome, that was like the biggest defensive line probably ever. Right. Everybody's like over 6'6".
Reggie White wasn't a small man.
He wasn't a small man.
And we handled him just fine. Eric Williams handled him most of the time, even though he always claimed that he was dirty.
Yeah.
A lot of those other guys that Dallas had to face up against, they weren't small men.
No. Now, I think where the Steelers might fall flat is their linebackers. You know, you had the great Jack Ham, you had Lambert. They're a little small. And Russell, a little small. Mm-hmm. Now you got Moose coming out the backfield.
Right.
If they can get past that line of Elsie Greenwood, the White, Mean Joe.
Mm-hmm. I think they will get past them.
Okay, now let's flip it. You got the Steelers offense. Franco Harris. That was a big running back.
Franco used to run through him and
you had Rocky Blyer. They had a solid offensive line. Then they had two great receivers, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth.
Difference. The Dallas defense was faster.
They was faster, yep.
They were faster.
Their linebackers was very fast and
to the point and get to the ball.
Their D line they had, and I don't know if anyone on that Pittsburgh offensive line could deal with number 94, Charles Haley.
And he made everybody there better, and not to mention linebacker and Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah.
Who was quick on his feet.
And then I'm not even going to include Deion in that because he only came in at the latter end.
Right.
But the Steelers might have more success throwing the ball
than
running because I think the Dallas defensive line was really stout. Leon Lett, Tony Tolbert.
Right.
You know, you throw in Tony Casillas, you throw in those guys. The big Air Force guy, Chad Hennings.
The only big thing that will probably be the edge tipper will be the big man in the backfield, sitting back there watching like a hawk, and that would be now I can't think of his name, but right on the tip of my tongue. For Dallas,
Woodson.
Yes,
Darren Woodson.
He would make the difference sitting back there in the back like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So he would make a big difference with those wide receivers, especially coming across the middle. Yeah. It's like Ronnie Lott. You would think twice before you know that man back there lurking. You would think twice before coming across there because Darren would either pop you or get that ball and run.
Now, we talked about both sides of the ball.
Oh, and I forgot one thing before we go. Offense for Dallas. They got to handle Novacek.
Yeah, that was a problem.
They have to handle Novacek.
Now, having said all that, both sides of the ball, competition. Who had the better competition while they played? You figure the Cowboys, who was their tough competition? Niners. Occasionally the Packers, but the Cowboys always smacked them up anyway. So I really can't count them. It was San Francisco from the jump.
Well, Pittsburgh had
Who's the other? Wait, what? Occasionally the Redskins. Some divisional foe?
Yeah, I had Giants.
No.
Well, the biggest thing is they always said the toughest division in football was always the NFC East because they always played smash mouth football. And any given Sunday, either one of those teams can beat you by 30
let's flip it to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Had the Dolphins, had the Raiders.
Yep.
Had to go through the Cowboys, the Vikings, the Rams. I just ran off 5 teams that the Steelers had to defeat to win these championships. Tough call. I love my Cowboys. I do. But when you put that in there, I have to go with the 70 Steelers because they had too many, and these are so-called great teams. Yeah, those teams that I just said, Cowboys, Dolphins, Raiders, that's just 3 of the best ever, and they beat them regularly. Sad day.
Let's go back.
It's a sad day.
Let's go back. They never really beat people with a lot of offense. They always depended on their defense.
But they won the game.
Yeah.
And folks, that's all the time we got. And I can't believe I'm putting this on air. The Steelers are better than my 90s Cowboys. But I know if they actually played, my 90s Cowboys will defeat them by at least 50 points. Folks, that's all the time we have for with Shaq and LeBron. Peace.